Sebastian, welcome back to Hong Kong. It's so good to see you here.
Thank you, Henry. It's a pleasure. Yes, World Summit.
The World Summit. And one of the things that have been wowing people is Sandbox. You are the founder and CEO of one of the most successful projects out there. Just before talking with you, I was talking about value investing in crypto, right? Because people over the last couple of years, fundamentals and price are very disconnected. Mm-hmm. People invest in these meme coins that very often don't have anything backing them. But we can look at projects from a value investing perspective because you have users, you have real transactions, you have real utility, right? Can you talk a little bit about Sandbox, the Sandbox token, and how do you see like you bringing value to the token holders into the market?
Yes, well, the way I see it is like we started Sandbox to empower anyone to become a creator. And even before we actually launched the token, we launched the product for those creators. We launched originally in 2011, it was a mobile game. People could create and share an online gallery. In 2018, it became this blockchain-based platform with NFTs. And we provided first VoxEdit, a 3D editor where people could do like modeling using voxels, sort of digital Legos, and use our no-code game maker to start creating games. Then we launched the first Lens, where people have like this digital space where they could publish the experience they created. And we introduced the token Sand only around August 2020. So we waited until like we already had like an existing community of a user base that's actually engaged with the actual product. We set ourselves, I would say a benchmark of like what our value will stand for, what's the value proposition, what people can do and see at the potential of Sandbox. And even though it was early on back then and like technology and what the product looked like was still very alpha, I would say, it set the tone for like how we approach things. We wanted to introduce token only once they will have a real utility and only once like we have a user base that's ready to actually interact and consume that token. Yeah. So when we launched the Sand token in 2020, I think we had already close to 1 million users who were interacting with the game maker. We were playing some of the first user-generated games, and those users, we onboarded to Web3 for the first time, which is also very aligned with our mission. Like, how are we a platform that onboard users to Web3 with real utility? Yeah. The gaming side, the user-generated content, making your own game.
Even if that person is not a Web3 person, they can come in, play the game.
Because you didn't come for the token. You came first for like, hey, I love the idea of like making my own game, publishing it. Even if I don't have any background in or experience in programming, that was possible. That was the first value proposition. So the very first core community of users on Sandbox were creative people, creators, artists that like make games. That was fun. From there on, it started to enlarge the audience. People also like came by interest of the token. It came around like 2021. If you remember, in 2021. Facebook rebranded itself as Meta, and the whole metaverse narrative came out.
But you were already in the space before that.
We were in the space before, like we were offering 3D virtual world and social space and allowing people to create content there. But it became even more natural that we were positioned as one of the leading projects in the space. We already had like a lot of like brands, partnership and collaboration back then. Atari, The Walking Dead. Smurf and so on, and we showcase the potential. And so when we introduced the land sale, and when the Sand token became progressively more and more widespread with new listing in exchange in Korea, in Japan, in the US, etc., it was always linked behind with a real product, a real community that people could like actually test. At any point of time, when you enter Sandbox, you could download the game maker, the game client, you could play a season, you can earn. You really see the potential of where it's going. And anytime we'll introduce a new land sale or we'll launch a new avatar collection, we've launched, I think, something like 50 avatar collection, the latest one being Casio G-Shock, the droid avatar, inspired by the real Casio watch, right? You can play with those NFTs, you can play with those contents right away. Not in 3 months, not in 6 months, not in 12 months at the time we built something. No, right now. And that's important because not only you want to showcase the potential of the technology for people in a seamless manner, but you want to also build expectation in a sense that if I buy something on Sandbox, NFT, Sand, I can actually use it right away. And so whether it's an avatar, the Sand token, you could use it to buy land on the during our land sales.
Yeah.
You could use it on the marketplace to buy official branded content or user-generated content. And you add other possibilities as well. Now, the amazing thing in Web3 is like you have this large community. And I think Sandbox, we have over 8 million users with a wallet, over 500,000 token holder in decentralized exchange according to like on-chain data, and probably more on centralized exchange, who are like landowner, avatar holder, or sand holder. And we have to think, as we keep evolving the platform, what can we offer to every single of those token holders? So if they are an avatar holder, they can use it as their identity, explore, play season. If they are a landowner, they can publish an experience on the map. If they're a sand holder, what more can they do? And how do they benefit from like the growth of the metaverse in a way?
Yeah.
And so these are like topics that we're working on. We'll have soon new announcements. Not today, cannot say more, sorry. But in a month, I'm really excited. We'll be sharing some big announcement around new product and like how we're really focusing and enabling more utility for those tokens so that it benefits the holders.
Okay, that's really amazing. You know, I've been talking about Sandbox for a long time, since 2021 or 22, because I created the very first metaverse course online, and of course Sandbox is there. And it's very important because for you to, you're just talking about how Web3 enabled the user. So you already had 1 million users when you brought in the Web3 capabilities. And what you bring is the capacity for the users to own their in-game assets, to transact in a decentralized manner, and to create assets inside the game, right? Users can create, there is user-created, generated content that they can also sell in a decentralized manner. You know, like, and this solves some issues because I cannot recall the name of the game now, but there is like this spaceship game where a few years ago I spent like $200 US dollars in spaceships.
Whoa.
And then I stopped playing the game. 1 year later I came back and my spaceships disappeared because they changed the terms and conditions of the game. It's like, come on, I spent $200 in those spaceships, right? Well, that will not happen.
That's unfortunately the reality of the gaming industry. Like you used to buy like premium game in a box, and at least you say, oh, I still have the box. I can resell it at the GameStop shop or other video game store if I don't want to play it. And then like the secondary market economy, we're getting so accustomed to it, not just for video game, but pretty much every object we're accepting to buy second-hand products or resell ourselves. Now, like for free-to-play games, like we were spending real money to buy like virtual item, equipment, virtual coins, or currencies, and you realize that when you leave the game, all those purchases, you can't do anything of it anymore, and that's just not normal. I'm not talking, and I think there is a shift, like maybe in the paradigm. A lot of people think of like ownership mean the ability to sell at a profit, with speculation eventually or not. For me, ownership is a possibility to not sell at a loss.
Yeah.
And like the fact that before there was zero, and now even a small percentage of what you paid is even better than zero.
Yeah.
You get some value back. And eventually, if like the game is successful, there's demand for it, other players want to keep on playing, you could sell with some profit. But it's not the financial gain of like constantly looking at flipping or selling your digital asset at a higher price that matters. It's more the ability to actually get some value back. As like it's quite normal. Sometimes we are less passionate about the game, we want to move on, or we reach the level 100, we have no more things to explore. Like that's time that we invested, that's money that we invested. I think every interaction, every attention matter.
Yeah.
Players should be rewarded for that. And there is a lot of untapped economic potential that has been overseen until like blockchain and ownership came in.
Exactly. Yeah, and where do you see the metaverse, tokenization, and Sandbox like in 5 or 10 years from now? How do you see this space evolving?
So I'm really excited how it keeps evolving. Like I think like where was it 5 years ago? Think yourself like you were playing Sandbox back in the day. Now you enter Sandbox, you'll get the Alpha Season 6 launching in a few weeks. The quality of the experience, the diversity of the gameplay, the graphics, all of that, the multiplayer, the time it takes to load the experience, everything has improved drastically thanks to technology. And so it's giving a much better flavor of what's possible. And what if that was not the only experience you could get? Like the idea of the metaverse is your digital asset, your identity can be used across many different applications. Same for your land, same for your sand token. So I think within that 5 years, 10 years more, like we want to be fully open in like how others can use the asset. We started with offering the Sandbox game maker and tools to get started creating. We never said that was the end goal. For me, like people shouldn't be just limited to create games using our game maker. They should be able to build games with Unity, Unreal, other engine, and still be able to use Sand token or use the content that's part of like this Sandbox ecosystem or their avatar. And in the same way, I do think like the Sandbox represents much more than a gaming virtual world. It's a world of culture, it's a place for creators. So I want people to be able to experience what Sandbox means without being just creating voxel-based game. And so look forward again what we'll be announcing. Yeah. Hopefully that will be a great first step toward that vision.
Okay, sounds great. So Sandbox is truly a sandbox, right? And you, like you are saying, you are building composability in an open system. Like, can we even say that Sandbox is not only a game, but like potentially an operating system for the metaverse future, right?
I think like it's a good way to look at it. You have like the economic layer with a decentralized token, that's the currency. You have like the content layer with like the creation tool that enables to make world or asset, and a large library of 100,000 plus assets that can be used in Sandbox, but outside of Sandbox, the format of voxel is interpretable. And then and we're starting to seeing it since the DAO has been powering external team, third-party team to build new creation tool outside of our own. The ability to continuously offer different experiences and other content creation tool for people to play within that large sandbox.
And this announcement that you plan to do like a month from now or so, how big is the announcement from 1 to 10? If you can...
I think it's a beginning of a mini revolution of like how people will start thinking and seeing Sandbox.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and in terms of like Sandbox users, people that play the game, that interact with the NFTs and the token, how do you see the market like in 5 or 10 years from now? I'm sure you have been growing a lot over the last few years. But people continue to be very excited about the metaverse and how this space is evolving. How do you see it evolving in 5 years or so?
Well, I think there's one thing we're not even seeing is like blockchain integration has become more widespread. There is a greater diversity of blockchain ecosystem. So now like you have literally dozens of millions of players on Gunzilla, on Avalanche. You have like hundreds of millions of users on Telegram and the Tor network who are also playing games. You have new games that didn't exist 5 years ago that emerged on those new ecosystems. Maybe it's still a bit fragmented, but I think there will be a solution for the cross-chain and liquidity layer for those to bridge players and assets across. But the audience are there, the games are exciting and the gameplay is fun enough to keep them engaged. The number of users is large enough to matter. Like, I think when they are definitely on par with traditional non-blockchain game, and the blockchain interaction, the UX has improved. They are abstracted those interactions, so you don't even know you're using a wallet sometimes. So it's becoming almost like non-noticeable.
Yeah.
The point of time where like the technology benefit the player without them knowing that what technology it is behind. Used to be a time where we cared about like which kind of 3D graphic, was it OpenGL, was it Direct 3D, or which graphic card you had, or which CPU model you have. Who cares about this nowadays? We don't
exactly.
even care on like what's the name of the console or the platform is something running, because we just expect things to run pretty much everywhere seamlessly.
Yeah.
So that's where we probably will be heading in 10 years. Like you will not know that there is a blockchain layer that facilitates transaction of value among players.
Just like when
you
you
just
go to the
expect it to be
internet,
there.
when you use the
Yes.
internet, you don't know the TCP/IP.
And all the
so on,
IP,
right? Like,
v6 protocol, and all
Exactly.
the security layers.
and I really wanted to invite everyone to install and play the Sandbox because, like you were saying, the Web3 components, the blockchain component is totally abstracted, right? So you don't really need to
As soon as
deal
you
with
join-
crypto.
Exactly.
The crypto advantages
we
are
give
there,
it to
but-
you, actually. You get in. Like, we don't expect people to have crypto to start playing. We actually expect them just to come, make an avatar for free, and get a bit of crypto as they start interacting. And then from there, start to understand what they can do with it, learn their way, and decide like if they want to progress even more into the battle pass, earn complete quests to earn more rewards, or they just want to sell it on the marketplace, swap it for other items, leave the sandbox if they don't like it, have the possibility to sell it. But one important thing is like we're trying to measure like how for every single token we are giving to a user, it's actually recycled into the game economy. That's a measure we call the return on reward spent, which is a way to also track like how efficient we are in retaining and engaging users.
Okay, got it. That's very interesting. And Sebastian, maybe one last question. You, as a tech enthusiast and investor, like, what are the sectors that excites you the most at the moment? Different tech sectors? Is it AI? Is it other sector? How do you view those areas?
Well, yeah, always passionate about technology. Always passionate about like how we make that technology more accessible. I'm excited, of course, about like how AI has been like democratizing content creation, and people feel more creative. It creates as well like a massive amount of new data, so comes with new challenge for storage, or new opportunity for like what we can use into that data to develop new models and build better user experience and economy. I'm also passionate about areas around like robotic, obviously, tokenization of pretty much everything. So we talk about real world asset. I think it's just one step around like everything will become tokenized, and
tokenization of machines, of devices, not only digital stuff, also physical stuff.
I love like how we're now seeing more and more as robots, and probably we'll see companion robots, helpers that will get accustomed to in society, and like in the same way we have our home vacuum cleaners and robots moving in the house, and we're no longer scared. Oh my God, there's a robot in our house. We just that adaptation period is there. Like we're not afraid of them. I think there will be more and more of that in society. Now we're seeing like robots that come on a cart and like you give them food, or they give you food at the restaurant. We're seeing like robots cleaning in the city. We're seeing robot drones as well, like delivering and so on. We have self-driving cars. It's a very exciting time in society. Like again, being born in 21st century and seeing all that speed of like, if you think every 5 years or 10 years, how much have changed versus what's been like.
Exponential changes,
yeah,
right?
it's interesting.
Yeah. And these sectors just talking about robotics, tokenization. Of course, those are very exciting, but for you, more like as an investor, part of our audience, they are investors in crypto, in stocks, and so on. Are you actually investing in these areas?
So I'm really focused on like how I support different ecosystems, and I'm very founders driven. So at the end of the day, I really like, I back the founders more than the idea.
You invest in people, not
invest in people.
Yeah.
And I like when people are really driven by what problem are they trying to solve. What have they identified as a problem, how they can offer a better solution. Can that solution create more economic value behind for more?
Yeah, awesome. Sebastian, one last takeaway that you would like to leave for the audience?
Oh, of course, like Alpha Season 6 is coming. It's going to be quite exciting. 9 weeks of excitement with a lot of content. Look up for like all the upcoming announcements around Sandbox. I think it'll be interesting for you to again, not miss on those, because like there will be a lot of new things to explore and new opportunities in the space.
Yeah.
And hopefully see you again at the next Pro Summit or soon enough in the metaverse.
Yeah, let's do it. Sebastian, thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Henry. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure. Thanks. Thanks, everyone.